Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So, back again at our special segment in English Discussion Forum when we delve about topics related with youth generation and we're trying to lift each other up. So, my name is Sasha and I'll be your host for today. And before we head on to our discussion, I have a special announcement to make. So, we finally have a name for this special segment. Inspire to aspire. So actually, the background behind the name is because we want to inspire one another and we want to inspire all of you so you can aspire to be better, so you can aspire to grow, yeah, and be a better person.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about self rewards and does excessive self rewards makes you lazy and how it correlates with your productivity and motivation. So actually we already have three special guests for today. So could you guys introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Fatihia Asra. People usually call me Fatih. I'm 18 years old and now I'm a student at the University of UIN Jakarta. Hi everyone, my name is Ilza Hidayani. I'm a 10th grade high schooler at SMK Ferus and I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
I am Rida and I am college student, as a college student.
Okay, thank you guys. Are you guys excited to join our
Yeah.
discussion today?
Yeah.
So why the reason why we bring up this topic about self rewards because we are already familiar with the term self rewards and sometimes we even reward ourselves after a job well done or because we've already seen self reward terms all over our social medias and sometimes we think that overdoing it might affect our motivation and productivity. Like sometimes it can make us lazier because we get carried away with our enjoyment in self-rewarding activities. So what do you think, guys? Like what does self-reward means to you and how it affects your motivation and productivities?
I'll go first.
Okay.
For me, self reward is gifts or appreciation for oneself for successful achievement of a personal activity. In my opinion, self reward can influence our motivation and productivity because with self reward, we uh, we can be motivated like, wow, I can achieve my goals for the next goals, and make us enthusiastic to do the next goals. But we also have to understand that we must have to understand that self reward must be done after we successfully achieving goals. So there's no negative impact because we often haven't finished our goals, but we're already relaxed,
Relax
like
and reward yourself.
reward ourselves excessively,
Yeah.
like sleeping, watching movies,
Yes.
and playing with our friends, or maybe scroll Instagram. And even though we should know that we must we should be relaxed after target, not relaxed before target.
Yeah, that's totally true. So, what do you think, Lisa?
Yeah. To me, self-reward is like a method of acknowledging personal accomplishment or achievement or milestones with positive and intentional recognition. So it's like self-reward is a thing that you want to do for yourself after you finishing some goals.
Yeah.
And yeah, it provides a sense of validation, positive behavior, and can contribute to more fulfilling and driven mindset. It's also make you freshen your mind to set again for another goals. Yeah, it can be the motivation for another goals.
So that's how self rewards can correlate with motivation. Like
Yeah.
when you give yourself a reward, it can motivate you to be better. So, like you can achieve another goals and achieve more goals or be better.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Patty?
I think self-reward is a simple things that we give ourselves
after we finish something. For example, after I finish terjemah exam and then I give myself some eating, buy food and watching movies, and then I think that's self reward. So self reward is just giving a credit for yourself for the achievement that we made. Self reward affect our motivation and productivity by providing a positive impact on to take action that support our goals. When we feel appreciated and recognize our effort, we tend to feel more motivated to keep working hard.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. So now we understand the correlation between self-reward and how it can motivate you to be better and how it can motivate you to continue your progress and achieve another goals. But yeah, so I think so too. Like to me, self-reward is like a push, like it just a pat on the back for a job well done. It's like acknowledging your achievement and it helps you to appreciate your progress and it makes you stay on the line like when you know that there's a rewards waiting for you at the end of your goals like you want to keep pushing and
Yeah.
reach that
Yeah,
thing
finishing.
right yeah but sometimes when you want to achieve something because you have a reward waiting for you sometimes it makes you lazier or
Yeah.
like you just want to achieve something because there's a reward behind it but actually reward is just like a bonus,
Bonus.
it should be just a bonus
Yes.
right and so I think it is also crucial to strike a balance between like reward yourself enough to stay motivated but not too much that it can lead to lazy so let's explore some personal experience so have you ever experienced a time when you overdoing self-rewarding activities and how it impacts your motivation or your productivity like does it makes you lazier or
Motivated.
yeah or motivated yeah. Fatih?
I think excessively self-reward can impact to our motivation. If we want to do something, you to give something, we have to be specific. For example, okay, I want to memorize Al Quran, but don't forget to give me a new iPhone, for example, and then it's very excessive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's very impact to our motivation, and then a person may become too satisfied with their current achievement and lose their motivation to be better on their performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. So, what do you think, Lisa?
For this excessive self reward, I do have experience sometimes like that when, for example, when I finishing my class at school, uh, sometimes I go out with my friends eating some good food and then wasting my money, but it's not a good thing to do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really impact me for another goal because I tend to set my goal to that level again. But it's not a good thing, right? So yeah, I feel like I. That's why I think it's really important to balancing your self reward
yeah,
and
that's true.
your self reward with your goal, uh, so you don't forget about the purpose of finishing that achievement.
Yeah, that's totally true. Like, and we can also like change our perspective towards self-rewarding activities.
Yeah.
Like, self-rewarding activities isn't should just about like watching movies or like treating ourselves with unhealthy snacks or like spend a whole weekend to sleep right like you can also explore another rewards to motivate yourself too with things like for example skills development class or something that can be productive too and be more help you develop
Yeah.
too, right? So yeah, because I vividly remember the time when I completed a project and then I spent a whole weekend like, okay, I deserve to binge watch my favorite TV shows for a whole weekend. Like,
Yeah.
but that's not worth it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I haven't even find out the result of my project, but
Mm,
I already treat myself with a whole weekend of unproductive things.
yeah.
And like, I think that way it can make us lazy because when we indulge in that self-rewarding activities, sometimes we feel like, oh, this is comfortable to just stay in bed to do nothing,
Yeah.
and then we don't
Comfort
want to
zone.
do another job, or we
Yeah.
don't want to achieve another goals because we feel like it is more comfortable to just lay in our bed, do
Yeah.
nothing, and then treating
Right.
ourselves with self-rewarding
Self-reward.
activities. Right. So yeah, I think it is important to stay balanced. So,
I think I have an experience when I rewarded myself too much. I have I have achieved a memorization target, but after that I reward myself excessively, like sleeping, or Lisa said, buying some food and wasting my
yeah.
money, or
Yeah.
maybe sleeping in a bed in a
Yeah.
whole day.
Yeah.
And that's makes me lazy, of course, because it makes me look into relax with I've done too much.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm work on one target, but I am rewarding myself with
With
5 gifts.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's too much. It's
It's
not
much,
balanced.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to achieve many more achievement in the future. So uh, we we actually we actually reward ourselves. We can reward ourselves with the reward small things or
Yeah.
simple things.
Yeah.
Uh, so the target and reward must be balanced.
Yeah.
So we can be motivated and cannot make us lazy and make a lot of targets. So we can control self reward that we give for ourselves,
Yeah, that's true.
and we can achieve more and more goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's not just achieve one target and then you just self and then you take a self reward activities and then you do another target. Like it is also important to achieve one target and then you evaluate the result. Like have you succeed to reach the target, and have you exceeded your expectations towards your targets, and then you can do self-rewarding
Self-reward,
activities.
yeah.
So I think it's not reward when you treat yourself with something fun, but you haven't found out your target yet. Like
Yeah.
is that a
yeah,
success?
it's success or not. Okay, so moving on to the next question. So, what do you think? Like, since we're already talking about the a healthy self reward and unhealthy self reward or excessive self reward. So, what do you think? Like, how can you draw the line between a healthy one and an unhealthy one? Like, how can we recognize when you're overdoing your self rewarding activities?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the line between the healthy reward and the excessive self reward is based on ourselves too. If you think we already being lazy and we already know that we haven't finished our task, then I think it's the time that we have to draw the line.
Yeah.
We need to continue again to our progress. So because the self reward is not we're not doing it before we do our target. We have to reach our target first. We evaluate, like Casas has said, and then yeah, and then we can do that self reward that we want to do.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bonus that we do after our achievement has finished.
Yeah.
And for how we recognize it, yeah, I think there's some ways on internet that really fit my opinion, like this one. It's escapism. It's kind of like We use our rewards to escape our
Mm.
challenge and problems rather than finishing it. Like
Yeah.
I said before, we use our rewards first. Like uh, I already done a bit of my project. I think I need to reward myself.
Mm.
But that's not the reason why we self reward, right?
Yeah.
We self reward because we already done something, but it's not done. So I think it's it's the time that if we already feel like that, then it's time to continue again to our progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I think how to recognize when you're overdoing self rewards. I think you can recognize it like when you caught up in a moment of a relaxation, or like
Yeah.
you caught up in a moment of and you want to do a more comfortable things rather than
Yeah.
achieving your goals. Like I think that's when you know you already like being lazy and you're overdoing your self rewarding activities.
You must
Evaluate constantly. Okay, so what do you think, Rita?
In my opinion, healthy self reward definitely makes us motivate and want to achieve more goals.
Mm.
Healthy self reward must balance with the goals we work on,
Mm.
and doesn't make us lazy, of course.
Mhm.
But excessive self reward definitely makes us feel enough with one goals and not motivate ourselves to achieve more,
Yeah.
to do the next goals, and makes us lazy and doesn't have more achievement. We can recognize when we overdoing self reward when we have done a lot of things that make us relax,
Mm.
and we don't have progress.
Mm.
Like Asasa said, uh, we must evaluate ourselves.
Yeah.
We use we are used to not having target every day. We must evaluate ourselves
Yeah.
again, and therefore we definitely feel like we should be able to make achievement, especially when we just spend our free time to
Yeah.
relax and relax
Yeah.
again and do nothing.
Yeah, I want to add something.
Okay.
I forgot to say that. And I think it's important to contemplate yourself
Yeah.
once in a while to rewind again what we actually targeting, and then again focusing in that so we can finish our goals.
And I think it's easy to recognize you're overdoing your self rewards like when the reward starts to interfere your responsibilities, or when you start to, like for example, when you start to procrastinate some important task and you avoid doing things that actually matter. That's when you cross the line between a healthy and unhealthy self rewards. So what about you, Fatih?
Yeah, I think self reward is considerate when it's proportional and balanced. So
Mhm.
that's the healthy self reward. For example, like when we want to go a holiday after we finish something, but we know we don't have enough money for it, and then we just borrow from our friend. So
Our friends'
that's not
money.
so that's not a healthy self reward.
Yeah.
So the healthy self reward is what do you have and then does it. If you like a pizza, just buy the pizza. But if you don't have money, don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Yeah. But excessive self reward is like you push yourself on your pleasure that you have to buy something. You want to buy a new skincare and very expensive, but you don't do
Do anything.
don't do anything,
Yeah.
and you don't have more activities, and you just I want self reward, but every day you just sleep it again and again, and you want to buy a lot of items.
Just force ourselves to
Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
that item without doing anything.
Yeah. And then you label it like I deserve
So
this,
this-
I deserve this
that
reward,
skincare.
while you're not doing anything.
It's not good. No, it's not a self
Healthy.
reward.
Yeah. Okay, so since you mentioned about balance, so yeah, it is essential to always set boundaries between your self-rewarding activities and your productivity. And it is also important to always stay mindful with our self-rewarding activities. So yeah. So I think we should move on to our
Yeah.
next question.
Okay.
So since we already familiar with the term self-rewards, like on our social medias, it often glorified about the importance of giving yourself a rewards. So like, do you see everyone's on the social medias who like rewarding themselves excessively? Like, how do you see their behavior online? Because like for me, I often find celebrities or influencer who like buy an expensive things and then they post it on the social media and say it like self reward etc. Like
Self reward and self
self-reward.
reward and self
self
reward.
reward. Yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah. Uh, I think in social media era, we can know so many posts in Instagram and TikTok about self-reward because someone do something good, for example. But I think it's only self-image performance. We don't know their effort. They just show what they have, what they do, what they buy, and then we want to be like them. And we have a very different condition with them. We don't have a lot of money. We don't have luxurious items, and we just want to be like them. So in social media, we have to more selective, be more attention, and we have to know information that everything in social media, not all of them can enjoy. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, and it is also important to recognize that you have your own way to reach your targets, and you have your own timing, you have your own journey to like um like you just don't want to be like them.
Yeah.
So like you can be them, but you can also find your own way to reach a certain goals,
How to get
how
that
to get your own rewards for
yeah.
yourself. And I think everyone has their own way to reward themselves, to appreciate their efforts. So yeah, not everything on social medias we should follow that we should follow.
I think social media can influence our view of self reward.
Yeah.
For example, seeing influencer at social media buying a new iPhone, or seeing a celebrity on social media traveling to Switzerland, and we definitely want and have the urge to do the same self reward as that influencer, right?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this is as a negative and positive impact. I think that the positive impact might be we can be motivated by looking at the world of social media to find a lot of money with our own way, like
Yeah.
Asasa said, find a lot of money and save money for the get the same reward.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and the negative impact is that we just focus on what our influencer doing on social media without carrying out the targets,
Yeah.
and can make us excessive to buy something like Kavati said,
Mm.
uh, without completing our targets
Mm.
and of social media encouragement. Even though we can give self reward to ourselves anything we want, like as I said before, not because we are influenced by social
By
media.
media. Yeah. And then like just like what you said, we just stood there on our bed and do nothing, and then we scroll our social media and we see somebody is going to Switzerland, and then oh my god, I wanna
Oh,
be, I wanna go to
like
Switzerland, and then we do nothing.
We do nothing.
We do nothing. We just looking at our social media.
We don't find another way to get
to
self reward.
to Switzerland, right? So what do you think, Lisa?
I do think that sometimes if you see someone doing some self-reward on social media, we get influenced by them and want to be like them. And sometimes people on social media, there is someone that do positive things like they self-rewarding themselves by buying a coffee, or maybe small things like make herself some DIY or something. And there's also someone that maybe overdoing it, like as I said, buying luxury items and many more. And I think it's really okay to see someone on social media like that. It's, yeah, like Karina has said, it can motivate us to reach that goals, right? But I think it's really important to look first for your goal and your achievement, and then your look after yourself first. Do your target really worth the reward that you want? And do you have the effort to get that rewards? Like, you want that reward, but you just sit and do nothing and just lay in bed doing nothing, stay in the comfort zone. And yeah, do you met the condition, or maybe there's something that you want but you can, then I think then you should not do that, right? Don't force yourself to buy an expensive things like people on social media.
Yeah.
And you need to look after yourself first, and then decide to set your reward uh, the same level with your goals.
Yeah, because like every one of us has our own goals and our
Yeah.
own target that we want to achieve. So we shouldn't do anything because celebrities or influencers
Yeah.
are doing, like when we see celebrities rewarding themselves with luxurious things, like we can find our way to rewards and appreciate ourselves and still motivated to be better and still motivated to reach our own goals, not because we see somebody's doing it doesn't mean we should follow it,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
So to address this, to address the excessive self-rewarding activities. So, can you share your personal experience or your personal strategies to maintain a healthy balance between healthy and unhealthy self-rewards?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
My strategy is we must complete our goals first before rewarding ourselves. Whatever it's big target or small target, we shouldn't do self reward before the target
Yeah.
we set has not been achieved. We have to get used to relax after target, not relax before target, and make self reward as a bonus, like as I said, for us, and can motivate ourselves to achieving something. Because if we prioritize self reward over the target, we just focus on the self reward and self reward again,
Yeah.
and not focus to
Yeah.
our goals.
Yeah, that's totally true. And yeah, what do you think, Lisa?
For me myself, my strategy is like what I have said then. When I already feel like I haven't been doing any progress in my goals, I I usually contemplate again with myself, talking with myself. I need to set my focus in the goal, in the process, and not in the self reward. And maybe as for myself, I usually use my self reward that I can afford at my limits, so I can do that again in my next goals. And I think, uh, like Harida has said, when for the social media, I think it's okay to have the ones to do something like someone, like when you want to go to Switzerland or something. And yeah, but if you can doing it for like the goals right now, you can set it for another goals until you can do it. I think it's like a double reward, so you can have your achievement now and you have your reward.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and the most important and essential things is balance. So I think balance is like our
key.
favorite keyword today is balance,
Balance.
because like it's not that you cannot do something fun, or like
Yeah.
it's not that you cannot relax after you reach your certain targets, but it's important to stay balanced and not caught up in a moment of relaxation and self-rewarding activities. So yeah, what do you think, Patty?
I think for me, self reward is not. We don't need often give ourselves self reward because it will be addictive. For example, if I have memories Al Quran and then I want buy a car, and then our motivation it influenced by that things, not by ourselves.
Yeah.
So my strategies is just do it by yourself. Don't think about self reward. Don't think about appreciating. Just do better and keep working hard. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for your words of encouragement. And as for my opinion, it is also important to shift our perspective towards self-rewarding activities. Like as I said before, like we can actually change our way to reward ourselves. Like we can do something productive instead of doing unproductive things. Like it can also be a reward, right?
Yeah.
Like it's also a bonus, like you reward yourself and then you be better. So yeah, I think you can also change your perspective towards your self-rewarding activities. And also it is important to contemplate as Lisa and evaluate as Lisa and Lida mentioned earlier. It's important to always ask yourself, have I reached my accomplishment? like like is my target worth to get a reward after this? Like, have I exceeded my expectations? And you should always evaluate yourself to stay grounded and prevent yourself from overdoing your self-rewarding activities. So, and as we wrap up today's discussion, hope you gained so much
Yeah.
today. So yeah, so could you make your conclusions towards today's discussion?
Who go first?
I go first.
Okay.
So to yeah, I just gonna say what we have said then. Self-reward is something that we want to give to ourselves. Self-reward is just a bonus after we finish our achievement. And self-reward is something that we can do after we finish our target, not before we finish our target. And yeah, we can make the self-reward as an excuses to being lazy, uh, to just relax before the target. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's really important to look again after yourself, to remind yourself uh, about this self reward. The do the self reward that you want is balanced with the target that you have set. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, so the key takeaways that we can conclude in today's discussion is that finding the right balance
Yeah.
between
Balance.
self-reward and then unhealthy self-rewards. Yeah,
Balance is the key.
balance is the key. So what do you think, Rita?
So the conclusion is we have to balance again,
Balance.
and balance is the key, right? Self reward and the goals we work on. Because if we overdoing self reward, it will make us lazier, like as I said, and there will be many achievements that we want to achieve.
Yeah.
And remember to make self reward as a bonus.
Yeah.
Don't prioritize self reward over the target we want to achieve.
Yeah. Because while self-rewarding activities is a powerful tool to help us motivate, but overdoing it can distract us from achieving our goals, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, finding the right balance is the key.
Balance is the key.
Yeah. Okay, so make sure that your self-rewards can support your long-term goals, not distracting you from it. So, yeah. What do you think, Fatih?
I think I send the all of you guys, but I think the simple self reward but which people really do is to thank yourself for going through a series of hiring effort. Whatever the result, there is no harm in giving yourself a self reward or appreciation. It doesn't have to be expensive items. You can appreciate yourself just by saying thank you. A line of thanks that make you feel happy. This can make us love ourselves more.
Okay.
I totally agree with Kak Fatih.
Yeah, I totally agree with
It's
all of
okay
you.
to give ourselves reward with the
That's
simple
not too
things,
much.
not too much.
To say
Balance
thank
is the
you.
key.
Balance is the key. Sorry if we mention it too much today. So yeah, thank you so much for joining today's discussion. It was a wonderful discussion, and thank you so much for your insights about today's topic. It's very inspiring, and hope every one of you can take something from our discussion for today. So thank you so much for joining today's discussions
Yeah.
about self-rewards and its correlation with productivity and how sometimes it can makes you lazy. And thank you so much for your insights, and it was a wonderful discussion today.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, and thank you guys for joining us as well, and hope you can take something from us today, and hope you can get inspired to be better. And remember to celebrate your achievement and also acknowledge your progress, but not too much, not giving yourself too much rewards that can make you lazy. So moderation and balance is the key. Okay, so if you have anything on your mind, if you have any opinion regarding today's topic, you can comment down below, or you want to suggest another topic that we should discuss on the next episode, you can also comment or send us a direct message on our Instagram. And I think that's all from us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.